Hello, my name is Sonia Trevino, and I teach an online class of the American West in the United States. And the lesson plan that I'm going to be talking about is the impact on the Homestead Act of westward expansion. And mainly what the Homestead Act is, it was a treaty that was signed in 1862, where it allows any U.S. citizen or anyone over the age of 21 or head of household to claim what they were calling free land, and they were able to claim about 160 acres. The only requirements that they had were that they had to reside there for 5 years, make sure they were doing improvements on it, like cultivating it and things like that, and that they were living on it in exchange for a small filing fee, which was pretty nice. This was mainly to encourage the expansion of the West and the development of the American frontier. So, the objectives that I'll be covering and focusing on would be that the learner will analyze the key factors of the Homestead Act of 1862. The learner will evaluate the effects of the Homestead Act on the westward migration and the settlement patterns. And the learner will evaluate the social, the economic, and the environmental consequences of the westward expansion on the settlers and the indigenous people. Now, then, for the anticipatory set would be to start with an icebreaker. Most of the classroom starts with icebreakers. I mean, those activities always work. So it would be mainly, okay, everybody, you know what? Let's close your eyes and imagine that you're a settler in 1862, and you're hearing about the free land in the West and things like that. All those interesting things. What are some challenges and opportunities that you think that you might face? Give the students about 5 minutes to think about it and to give you their response and to share amongst each other. Then show the students an image of a homesteader family and ask them, what do you see? Okay. Once we go into the instructional strategies, that would be we do the direct instruction, about give or take about 15 minutes, giving a small lecture on the Homestead Act, including its origin, its provisions, and the intended purpose of it. Use a PowerPoint presentation to show some of the key points and include visuals. Do the guided instruction for about 10 minutes. Have students search information, documents, sources that can be used for this activity. Then you're going to have your group discussion. Your group discussion will be about 15 minutes as well. Create a discussion on the key points of the Homestead Act, highlighting the impacts of the settlers, the Native Americans, and the environment as well. For the activity, the engagement activity is that you're going to assign students into small groups and have them evaluate selections from the Homestead Act and some of the letters from the settlers. The groups will then answer questions and discuss their findings. Each student will be assigned a question that is related to the other to assure that the students are interacting with each other and collaborating as a team, which is very important. That's what you want. For the assessment, I would do a formative assessment in the form of an exit ticket. The students have to write a short response to the prompt, and my prompt would be, what was the most significant impact of the Homestead Act and why? Have them think about it, brainstorm, and then give you their short response. Now, the strategies for differentiating would be offer simplified selections of primary sources for those seeking additional support. Give students the choice to work either in groups or pairs that will motivate them to try harder or help each other out. Provide extension questions for your advanced learners to strengthen their studies. And the closure of all this would be, okay, a wrap up. You know what? Let's summarize the key points, discuss them, talk about them real quick, and then post up my reflection question and ask the students to thoroughly think about its historical perspectives. And the question would be, in what ways does the Homestead Act impact the way that we see American progress today? And this would be the end of our class. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed my lesson.